Hi guys, I'm Sonal and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you what are the keto ingredients in my kitchen. I'm also going to talk about each of these ingredients a little bit in detail, and this is especially because I get a lot of questions regarding this, so I wanted to make a video to answer all these questions. I hope you enjoy the video and let me know if it added any value to you in the comment section. If you like the video, please click the like button, subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell right next to it. Also, if you want to buy any of these ingredients, I am going to leave the links to all of these in the description section, as well as a link to my website, where on that page I have all the gadgets and the ingredients that I have in my kitchen. These are some things that you need if you want to make the recipes that I make. So let's go ahead and see what these are. So I want to show you the coconut flour that I buy. This is the one by Nature, and I'm going to leave the links to all of these as I've said. You want to buy something of this quality because this is really super fine. So if you're baking or making rotis with this, you want something like that, and you can't make this at home. I have been getting questions about it, but no, you really can't make something of this quality at home. So if you use something that you've made at home, which I have tried, it will be much more thick. Your rotis or your bread will break a little bit. There are some recipes in which you could substitute it. I just want to show you how fine it is. I'm just going to open this. Normally I just bring all of these flours out in containers and I store them, but I luckily had a new bag so I can show you what it is like. So this is what it looks like. I hope you guys can see. So it's really fine, which is what we're looking for. I also want to show you one of the cheaper coconut flours that I bought, and it was a mistake because I saw that the price is good and I went ahead and bought it, and you will see how thick it is. So it's almost the thickness of psyllium husk, and it doesn't work well in the coconut flour rotis that I make very regularly. I've shared the link in the description for that. That's a popular recipe of mine. So if you need tortillas, rotis, flatbreads, any such thing, just watch that recipe. It's extremely simple and it's a vegetarian recipe. As I said, I would not suggest you to buy something that is cheap. Now the next ingredient that I get a lot of questions about is psyllium husk. It's called isabgol in India, and it's actually a natural husk which is prescribed by a lot of doctors in India for regulating your bowel movements. So it's absolutely safe. My grandfather has taken that for like 30-40 years and he lived until 92. This is, I think, the Jodhna brand, and I'm going to link that too in the description. I don't really buy the super fine one, but this brand doesn't turn purple. A lot of these turn purple when you cook it, although you can still consume it and it's safe, but it does look bad. The next one is Xanthan gum. Is, I think, made from some kind of fermentation, so it's a yeast kind of thing. Absolutely safe, keto. You need very little of this and it's dirt cheap. You can buy it on Amazon. I'm going to link that one in the description too. It is very slimy. If there's any moisture on your hand, you'll find your fingers getting really slimy. You don't want to add too much of this because you will feel that sliminess on your tongue, but definitely it works really well in some of the recipes. Like I just shared a puri recipe recently and it turned out so good. Go check that recipe out too. The next one is flax seed. So this is the dark one and the light one. I have just stored them together because when I bought the light one, I just put it in this container itself. You can use flaxseed flour in a lot of keto baking. So let me show you what it looks like. The ones that I'm showing you is golden flaxseed. You can see it looks nicer because it doesn't make your bread dark. It looks more like a whole wheat kind of thing. It's also a binder because it's slightly sticky. I don't store flaxseed flour because it gets rancid really quickly. So I use whole seeds and I grind them. Let me show you my almond flour. So I store my almond flours and all my nuts and nut flours in the refrigerator because they can go rancid. You want them to be fresh. This is how I store mine because I use it quite a bit, and I have bought these large quantities from Costco from one of my trips to USA. So you want to use a blanched and super fine almond flour to get a good consistency for all your baking. So even if you're making a flatbread out of it, or you're going to use it for leavening breads or muffins, the best is to use the one made from blanched almonds, and which is really fine. You can buy these on Amazon, and I'm going to share the links for the ones that I like. So I have the Costco brand. I want to show you the bag. Luckily I have an extra bag to show you guys. All of these are kind of expensive, and if you find it expensive, what you need to do is grab a few almonds and use a high power blender to just blend it into a fine powder. With the skin on, you can definitely make most of the recipes using that kind of a flour. It will just look slightly different. It'll have specks of the skin on it, but that's fine, and you do cut down on the cost quite a bit. This is my coffee grinder from about like 16, 17, 18 years ago. That's another thing I would recommend because it's so convenient. It's small and it grinds everything really well. This is an American voltage one. I bought it there. So if you want to grind your almonds to make your own almond flour, probably it'll work in this. I don't grind my almonds in this. I'm not sure whether this works well for that, but I do grind dry spices, sweeteners, and mainly my flax seed, because you don't use as much flax seed in bread. For a couple of tablespoons, you put it in this and you grind it, and it's such a quick thing to do. So I love this coffee grinder. The next one that is also slightly sticky, and you can call it a binder, is chia seeds. So these are my white chia seeds, which are considered much healthier. They're also called salba, and they are high in omega-3 fatty acids, which is good for you. So I want to show you what it looks like. These I have stored whole. They have good binding power, so you can add them to your keto jams, jellies. I use that to thicken those up because it has that jelly or jam like texture once it kind of like swells up. I had some dark chia seed, and what I did is I ground it into a powder, and I've stored this, and I use this to kind of thicken all kinds of things. If I'm making a keto dal, like a dal makhani, which I make with buchanania seeds, I'm going to share the recipe soon with you. I do thicken it with a little bit of the chia seed powder. The next one is wheat gluten. Now this is a controversial ingredient. I want to talk a little bit about it. This is made from wheat, and they've taken all the carbohydrate part out of it, and only the wheat protein is left in it. So this is the stuff that actually makes your bread stretchy and hold together. So if you add this to any of your gluten-free breads or keto bread, you will kind of get that texture of bread. And mostly it's believed that gluten is not good for you, or it's not keto. So let me clarify that. Gluten is keto because it's low in carb, and whatever is low in carb is keto. Whether you consider it healthy or not is a different question altogether. I've also had somebody comment under my video saying that they could not tolerate wheat, like whole wheat or refined flour, but they could tolerate wheat gluten. So that is something a lot of us don't know, and we just jump to conclusions thinking that it's poison. Having said that, it's a personal choice. I just wanted to show you guys what it is. Now let's talk about leavening agent. And let me talk about baking powder first. I have the aluminium free version. I store it in the refrigerator, and I'm going to share a link to that in the description. You can use a combination of all these to make your keto breads, or you could use any one or two of these. Baking powder and baking soda is very similar, but baking soda acts better in the presence of some kind of acidity or fruits or some kind of vegetable in some recipes you will use only baking soda, and in others you'll use only baking powder. Whenever you're doing any kind of keto baking, you have to remember that you're going to need more of the leavening agent than a regular dough, because keto is mostly almond flour or a combination of almond flour, flaxseed, and coconut flour or something like that, and these doughs do not rise on their own, so they are slightly heavier than the regular doughs. Yeast is a live culture. I store mine in the refrigerator. As soon as you put it in warm water with sugar, it should activate. You want to make sure that you first activate it, because if it's flat, you're going to waste all your expensive ingredients. Surprisingly, it does work with keto flours too. So I am going to share a recipe of a bread using yeast with you. Now let me show you my sweeteners. That is Swerve. I bought it in US. It's, I think, a blend of erythritol and stevia. Kind of lumps up normally in India, probably because of the moisture right now. It looks almost like almond flour, and sometimes I've actually mixed the two up. But luckily I was using both the ingredients in that recipe and I could salvage it. But that has happened with me. This is some stevia drops I want to show you. This is an Indian brand. There are a couple of brands. You could use either of those. They work well. And these are two stevia drops that I bought in the US. So I'm going to write those down also for you. And those are flavored vanilla and caramel or something like that. The Indian ones I find are slightly stronger. Now this is a monk fruit sweetener, a natural sweetener made from monk fruit, as in a fruit. And it's a low carb or a zero carb sweetener. It tastes good, I've heard. I've bought it in the US. It's not available in India, and I've still not opened it because I'm waiting for my Swerve to get over. In India,
these are not available. So when I don't have these, I do use erythritol and stevia as a blend.
And this is the brand of erythritol that I use a lot. This is Zevic.
So if I'm making my drinks like coffee and things, I just add a few drops of stevia and it's done. But when I'm cooking or I'm baking, especially dessert, I do like to use a blend of erythritol and stevia because that tastes very, very close to sugar.
A lot of times I grind it in my coffee grinder and I store that, which is what this is. So you can see this is really fine and mixes well with cold desserts too.
So this video landed up being too long because there was a lot of information I wanted to give, so I have cut it into two. And don't forget to watch that. There's a lot of information about keto milks and keto chocolates and some of my favorite gadgets in the kitchen which are keto related.
I hope you guys enjoyed the video and will click the like button. The very important ingredient that I forgot to show you completely, and you cannot function without it. It's an avocado shaped cushion. But isn't it cute? It is, right? It's just absolutely cute. Alright, bye.